User can upload up to 2 slides.
Good morning. We are live.
Good
All
morning.
right. We're doing a webinar on SMART goals this morning. Hopefully all of you have your coffee. If you have any comments, please drop it in the chat and we can see your comments. I'm going to go ahead and introduce Leslie. She's going to be hosting our webinar this morning. Welcome, Leslie.
Thank you.
So if you guys don't know, my name is Sandy McAlpine. I am with Remax Results, and we are hosting a webinar on SMART goals. And we want real estate agents all over to do better in 2026. I know the last couple of years have been really, really stressful for a lot of agents. 71% of real estate agents did not sell a home last year, 0 homes. So we're trying to level up the industry. And I want you guys to pay attention because Leslie is going to share some amazing strategies that you guys can use to stay focused. Okay. So Leslie is a mortgage professional and she's a former full-time empowerment coach and strategist. She spent years working with executives and realtors to help them break through income ceilings and mindset barriers. Her coaching work focused on timeline therapy and mindset mastery, helping high performers gain clarity, confidence, and forward momentum. She entered the mortgage industry to better serve the real estate professionals that she already was coaching, bringing a unique blend of strategy, psychology, and real-world transaction experience. Leslie is a North Carolina, South Carolina area manager for Cross Country Mortgage and a certified new construction specialist. She specializes in one-time close construction loans. With real estate deeply rooted in her family and years of personal experience buying and investing property, she offers a calm, structured, and goal-driven approach that supports both agents and clients alike. She especially enjoys working with relocation clients, having lived across South Carolina for over 17 years. She actually lives on a farm, you guys, in a retreat in rural South Carolina with her husband, Chris, where they enjoy personal growth events and family time and life with their donkeys, goats, and chickens, and a very spoiled French bulldog, Poppy. So I'm going to let Leslie take the stage and give you the SMART Goals webinar.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Sandy. One thing, I just emailed you that presentation. If you could upload it, it's not allowing me to upload.
Okay,
so
sure.
if you could get that going. And thank you guys for being here. Sandy and I, with Remax, I know there's other agents on here that are not with Remax. So, this is not exclusive to Remax, but Cross Country and Remax have a great partnership that they have formed to really help realtors to kind of take business to the next level. And you're probably wondering, like, why is a mortgage lender, here talking about goals? And fair enough question. But like Sandy mentioned, my previous life before the mortgage industry was an empowerment coach and certified timeline therapy specialist. So one of the things that actually got me into the mortgage business was working with realtors. And I was working with high-level executives and realtors to help them get their business to the next level. And again, that's what kind of got me into the whole mortgage space to begin with. But again, my life has been rooted in real estate in some way, shape, or form. My husband was a realtor, grandmother was a broker, my mom was a realtor, sister was a realtor, sister now owns a title company. So it's just been around me my entire life. So Sandy, I'm not sure if I'm able to.
Yeah, I'm going to have to let you upload the old one. It still came out the same.
So guys, real world technical problems this morning are PowerPoint, when we uploaded it, kind of crunched things. So we're just going to have to wing it. And Sandy, it won't allow me to upload another. So
I removed it.
if you want to keep it, it won't let me upload again.
Oh, wild. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I'll just move the slides for you.
Okay. So, let's jump in. So I want this to be interactive. If anybody does have any comments, please put them. Sandy, do people have the ability to say anything?
Oh, yes. There's a comment. I can show them on the screen as well, but there's a comment box to the right. I can also show them right there.
Okay, awesome. So if you guys do have any questions, please feel free. We'll have some Q&A at the end, but if you do have any questions, please feel free to put them in the chat. And I'm just going to jump in and kind of go through the different slides. So if any of you have ever done SMART goals, this is SMART goals, but it is going to be SMART goals on steroids. So it's going to be a little bit different. So Sandy, if you want to go to the next slide.
Sure. It might let you move the slides. I'm not sure.
I don't think it's letting me move them. So we can go to the next one.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not letting me. It's just keeping them on the screen. So, hey, Sam. Awesome. Excited that you're here. So let's start. So Sandy, everybody got the PDF, right? That you can print out. It says SMART goals.
I'm going to add it again to this. Okay. I'm going to add the link to the comment section and everyone can have it.
Awesome. So if you did not print that out, I would really encourage you to print it out. If you don't have the ability to print it right now, you can grab some pen and paper and write some stuff down. If you have the ability to at least open it so that you can see kind of the format of it, that would be great. So when we talk about SMART goals, the first thing that we start with is specific. So you want to be very specific in your goals. So again, we're in a weird time in the real estate space. Let's face it. It's the last couple of years have been really crazy. We're going to focus today on one specific goal, whatever that goal is for you. Think about what that one goal is. You can do this with as many goals as you want later, but today let's focus on one big goal. And I want you to write that goal down, be very specific. So one of the examples I put here is if you want to get out of debt, you want to be debt free, don't just write debt free. Write specifically, I want to cut up my credit cards and pay off X amount of bills, or I want to, pay off this, or I want to start earning $100,000 a year in real estate consistently. Or maybe you break it down into, I want to earn at least $8,000 a month in real estate consistently over the next year. So just be very specific in what that goal is. Make sure that if you tell somebody, you communicated it to somebody, that they know, they can hear it and you're conveying it in a way that is very clear that anybody would know what that goal means. So once you have written that goal down for your S, the next is M, and it's measurable. Again, sorry for our squished PowerPoint, but hey, real life technology, not my favorite. So measurable. How can you measure your achievements, basically? How will you know that this is working for you? So determine if your goal is measurable by asking yourself, like, how much, how many, how will I know when it's accomplished? Why does this really matter? What does it matter, like, beyond the money or production? How will I know? Like, how do I measure it? How can I measure this goal? Is it income? Is it closings? Is it time freedom? Is it your lifestyle? Is it the impact? So another thing too is really focus on, why does this goal matter to you? So in thinking about it being measurable, like, you know that it's happening, why does it matter to you? Like, what does it change about your life? And we'll pause here for just a minute and give everybody a little bit of time to write some stuff down. So the meaning and motivation behind the measurable. How do you measure this? All right, we can jump to the next slide. So attainable, as if now, actionable. So write this goal as if it's already happened. So when you're writing it, do something, you want to write it like, I am consistently closing 3 transactions each month while still protecting my personal time. So whatever that goal is, what does it, like, how is it attainable? Write it down as if it's already happening right now. Like, I am consistently making $8,000 every single month over the next 6 months. Write it down as if it's already happened. And if anybody's ever heard of like the I am, like writing things as like, I am at my healthy weight. I am achieving X amount every single month. I am, like I said, closing 3 transactions every single month and protecting my personal time, my personal space. I am enjoying life, working 25 to 30 hours a week in my business. So anything that you can write down, I am consistently doing XYZ. All right, we can jump over to the next slide. So realistic, is this goal realistic and achievable? So why is this realistic to you? So write what your strengths, resources, and support that you have to be able to achieve this goal. So if it's something that is like way out of range, like, we want to be looking at goals that, you know, push us to go further, but we also don't want to say, like, if you just started in real estate last month and you've not even closed 1 transaction, and to come up and say, like, I want to close, I don't know, what's a realistic number, Sandy? What's like crazy? Oh, you're muted.
I think a lot of agents would like to close at least 20 transactions. I would think that that's a couple $100,000. I think most agents would like to make that. I think the years of I want to make 100,000 are gone.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, especially because it just costs more to be in business as a
Right.
real estate agent. So,
Right.
you know, I've heard anywhere from I want to make 250 to 350. And in a lot of markets, that's 20, 25 transactions.
Okay. So if you're saying I want to make 250,000 a year and I want to close 25 transactions for the year, and you just started yesterday, is that realistic?
Well,
Is it
of course
realistic?
not. No, I think new agents, I've seen, listen, when people get into real estate, I think a lot of people think that they can just do some deals on the side and they can make 100,000 on the side. A lot of people get into it as a side hustle and not a full-time gig. The ones that get into it as a full-time gig right away and are focused and usually have a great mentor, coach, or are working on a team, typically do about 5 to 10. Some of the people that I took on as coaching did 7, 8, 9, 10 their first year, and they had no idea what they were doing. So those are people with a lot of grit and hustle, and they just literally threw themselves into this business. I do think a 20 to 25-year goal is a second year or third year goal, just because you're prospecting, trying to build your database and your pipeline. And the first year, you can only close so many people. You know this, people are generally, when they start researching and talking to real estate agents, they're 12 to 18 months out from buying or selling most of the time. So those 7 to 10 deals that they get the first year are just people that happen to be ready at that moment. And I just don't think, I mean, I'm sure there's someone on here that's going to put in the comments, oh, I closed 22 deals my first year. Okay, great.
Awesome.
Maybe they built their pipeline in their database some time before they started.
Right. Right. So going back to the whole realistic, if you're brand new in real estate and it might not be realistic that you close 25 transactions, in that first year. So make sure it's realistic and it's achievable. It might be like a little bit hard to grab. It can be a little bit out there. So maybe if it's your first year, maybe you say, I want to close 10 this year. And that's more realistic and it's a little bit out of the norm. So that's fine. If you did 25 last year and you say, I want to do 35 this year. Okay, awesome. If you did 10 last year and you want to do 15 this year, and maybe it's not, necessarily that specific number of transactions. Maybe it's, how much do you want to net or how much do you want to gross this year? You want to make sure that it's realistic and that you have the ability to achieve it. It might be a little bit out of reach, but it's not crazy out of reach. Not like it's my first year in real estate and I want to make 300,000 a year.
I've always been told to put the crazy number, and even if you get close to it, you're winning.
And that is true. And it can be so true for some people. I think, if they don't see that they're on their way to that or even close to it, then they might get so discouraged, 6 months into it and give up because they're so far off. But I agree. Having that, big, big, hairy, audacious goal, it's awesome. So whatever you feel most comfortable with, and this is about what you feel comfortable with, not what I feel comfortable with, not what Sandy feels comfortable with, not what Tanya feels comfortable with, what you feel most comfortable saying is, that's a stretch for me. That's a goal.
I was curious if anyone could put in the chat how many years you've been doing real estate so we know the experience.
Yeah, that would be great. Yeah, please. If anybody can type in the chat, how long have you been in real estate? And feel free to share your goal. I'd love to, this is, we want to keep it, I respect everybody's privacy. You might not want to put in there how long you've been doing this, but please feel free, share your goal, share how long you've been doing it, whatever you'd like. 13, 6, going on to 25. Awesome. 6. Cool. So some of you guys should have some big, hairy, audacious goals. 30 years. Nice. Agent since May 3rd, under contract, 2 closed, 1 closing this month. Awesome, Sam. Very good. All right, we can jump to the next one. Timed, not team ed. Timed. So this is a big one. You want to put a time frame of when you want this. So be very specific. Like, I consistently generate X amount of money each month. I consistently generate 15,000 of gross income each month by December 31st, 2026. If it's, I'm going to be at my ideal weight. This obviously, again, it's for, we're here for business, we're here for realtors, but maybe your big goal is to get healthy in 2026. And whatever that healthy means to you, that's fine. Whatever that goal is for you, give yourself a time frame. Not, I want to lose 20 pounds, but if it's, I want to be at my healthy weight of X by June 30th, 2026. Give yourself that number. Write down that time frame. All right, we can go to the next slide. So evidence procedure. So what this means is, how will I know this goal is complete? So write down, like, how will you know when the goal is complete? Like, when the closings are recorded, or is it when your commission is deposited into your bank account? Is it when the schedule reflects your new reality? What does that, what is that evidence? What does it look like for you to know that you've achieved that goal? If it's going on vacation, how will you know you've achieved it? When you've booked the trip, when you've paid for it, when you're there, when you've completed the trip. What does that look like for you? And again, that's going to be very, specific to you as a person. What does that goal, like, how will you know you've achieved it when you get there? And then timeline alignment and action. So this is where you want to really imagine yourself at the moment this goal is complete. So when I was coaching, what I would do, so part of timeline therapy is, it's part hypnotherapy and part coaching, where, again, obviously we're not doing hypnotherapy on this call today, but when I'm working with a client one-on-one, we would go through a light hypnotherapy session to get them really rooted and grounded in their timeline. So if you're in this timeline now, if you close your eyes and you picture yourself, you're at this place in your timeline. So whenever that goal, whatever you wrote down for the completion of that goal, whatever that date is, if you close your eyes and just think out to that date and think about how this looks, like, what do you see when this goal is completed? And you want to put all of your senses kind of into this too, and think through, what do I see? What do I feel? What do I hear? What does that feel like? I'm a kinesthetic person. So for me, it's feeling. So what does it feel like? I'm also a very visual person. So it's seeing. What do I see when I've reached that goal? My goal was to buy a farm and do what they call land hacking, and basically divide up parts of the land and have tiny homes on the property that we Airbnb. And then we have animal experiences. So that's why we have donkeys and goats and chickens. And so, for me, I made vision boards. I, wrote down all of these things and had pictures of what I could see of how I wanted this goal to transpire. So for me, it had to be very visual. So, that is, again, dependent on how you feel. What really helps you to see that goal? Is it when you're going out and spending money to take your kids on a vacation? Is it when you buy an investment property, and where do you want that property? And when you get to that point of achieving that, what do you see? How does it feel when you achieve it? What's different about your goal when you've reached it? What's different about that? What's different about your daily life? If you're making 300,000 a year, what is different about your daily life? What do you see and feel, hear, touch, all of that?
I love that. I see agents making vision boards. And for some people, it might not be buying an investment property. It might just be paying off their credit cards, paying off their car. And they would feel so much relief getting out of debt, feeling relief from paying things off, because every month they're feeling pressure and crowded. And for agents that might be in the business a long time, some of them are living check to check, and it's maybe they want to feel relief and make more money to get ahead because they're living check to check, or they want to take that vacation. If some of these agents on this call are doing years and years of work with no vacation, they might see themselves on that cruise boat and feeling relief because they're not worried about money at the same time.
Yeah. Or how about the person that gets to the point where they don't have to work with that client that has been the biggest thorn in their side? What if it means that they can refer it to somebody, newer in the business that wants to hustle more? They've been in the business a while and they can get to the point where they are like, you know what, I don't need to work with that person. I can go refer them to somebody else because they're driving me crazy. There is nothing more satisfying than when I can say, even from the mortgage space, like, oh, I'm not dealing with them. Like, I cannot work with that person. I have given up clients. I've had my regional manager on a call really trying to keep a client engaged and like offering them like ridiculously low rate. And I'm over here texting him saying, don't give him that because I don't want to work with him. He's been such a jerk. Like, I am just fine letting him go. We don't need to reduce the rate to keep him. Let him go somewhere else, please. So that is such a good feeling when you don't have to be stuck with that client and you can fire them. So ecology, your brain and your heart. Does this align? Is this congruent with like your life? Does this support your health? Does it support your family, your relationships? Does it support your values? Going back to the whole being able to fire a client. If it's somebody that really just gives you the bad feeling and it's, really hurting your stress level, getting to this point, does it support your values and what you want long-term, your long-term vision? Does it feel clean and congruent? If anything is off with these goals, write that down. If anything doesn't feel like it's congruent with your mind and your heart, write that down. And then next is your DEA. So it is your daily efforts and actions. Again, apologize for the squish of the slides. But your daily efforts and actions. What are some daily actions that you need to commit to in order to see this goal come to life? So whether those are, daily, weekly, monthly, write down some actions that you believe that you need to put in place. Make them simple, repeatable, controllable. What things do you need to do every day to see these goals come to life? Give you a little bit of time to write that stuff down. Even if, again, it's not the business stuff, if it's, I want to get to that healthy weight, what are some of the things you need to do? I need to get out and walk for, 20 minutes every day. I need to meditate for 15 minutes, 10 minutes every morning. I need to spend time doing more personal growth, and I want to, read a book every month, once a month. I want to read a new book or read a book about personal growth, or I want to start eating clean. I want to cut out gluten. I want to cut out sugar. I'm going to do this. I'm going to cut out sugar. I'm going to cut out blah, blah, blah. I'm going to go to the gym 3 times a week, whatever those actions are. What do you need to do every day? If it's setting your alarm early, 30 minutes early each day. Maybe you start small. Maybe it's 15 minutes early each day to give yourself time for whatever it is. Maybe it's making a daily checklist of things that you need to do. Planners. I mean, I love like online planners, and having everything like on my Outlook calendar of what I need to do today. But I'm the kind of person that I need to like write those things down in like an actual old school planner. And for whatever reason, I am like tickled to death when I get to check something off my list that I accomplished it that day. It is like one of my biggest things. I don't know why, but I love checking the things off my list each day of got this accomplished, got that done, got that done. There's a little journal / planner out there. It's on Amazon and it's done by Mel Robbins. I'm sure many of you probably know who Mel Robbins is. And I think it's called the 5-second journal or something. She has the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 get shit done that she, promotes. But I love her journal because it's a planner on one side and a little journal on the other. And on the one side, you can write down like, what are my 3 biggest things I want to get done today? What are the 3 things I'm grateful for today? How do I feel this morning? And then like on the other side, you can write out like your whole day's planner. So if you're looking for something, check that out on Amazon. Again, I think it's called like the 5-second journal.
I put the link to it in the comments.
Oh, you found it that quickly?
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. All right, we can jump to the next one. First step in integration. So what is the very first action that you need to take within the next 72 hours? So I encourage you to write that down, like take action immediately. What is the very first thing that you need to do today, tomorrow, to start implementing? If it's ordering a journal or a planner or something to start working on your goals and start working on your daily task list. If it's something like that, get that ordered as soon as possible, get it within the next 72 hours and start writing stuff down. And then if you look down on your paper, so with steps 10 and 11, if you're still looking at that, there is a integration statement. Complete your statement. So it says, as I move forward, I allow this goal to integrate naturally into my future, creating ease, clarity, and momentum. So write down what that statement is. What is it for you? And then initial and sign it, initial and date it. I'm sorry. I would encourage you, if you've printed this out and wrote everything on this, keep it somewhere where you can see it daily. If you're a visual person or you want to feel it, where you can put your hands on it each day. If you want to write that statement out and stick it on your bathroom mirror. If you want to write down your daily actions, your DEA, and write that on your bathroom mirror. I used to have tons of Post-its and like quotes, different motivational quotes on my bathroom mirror. Loved it. I mean, it was, something that's in your face every single day. Write those things down. Keep them somewhere that you can see them. Another thing is if we can jump to the next slide, Sandy. Take down my information, my cell phone number, my email address. Feel free if you would like to send this to me. I promise I won't share it with anybody. I'm not judging anybody for anything. But if you want somebody to, look at this and say, did I do this correctly? Is there anything that I could do a little bit differently? Please feel free to share that with me. I'm happy to give some feedback. If you just want somebody to share this with that is, not judging anything, if you just want to say, I'm making this declaration, this is my goal, this is what I want to accomplish, this is what I'm going to do it by, please share that with me. I'd love to help support you in your goals. And if there's anything that I can do to help support or help guide in either the coaching stuff, the goal setting, or in mortgage stuff, again, we're here partnered with Remax. We're all over the Southeast, but me personally, I'm the area manager for North Carolina and South Carolina. Tanya is in Tennessee, and she is our team leader over the whole Southeast region. So we're both here to support you with any of it, with goal setting and, again, with mortgage stuff. So please feel free to take down my information, reach out, shoot me a text, shoot me an email. I'd love to connect. And if you have any questions, feel free, you can put them in the comments. I'm happy to answer anything, or you can, again, feel free to email or text me any questions.
Hey, I just wanted to add a couple of things.
Yes.
Thank you so much. A couple of things that looking at the different seasons that people are in their stage of career. So I think back, I've been doing mortgages for over 30 years. And I think back when I first became a loan officer, what were my challenges? The same as a realtor. And sometimes we overthink it and don't know where to begin. And so I think for some of those beginners, or at least 12 to 24 months into it, your sphere of people that you hang out with is so important to let them know that you are in the real estate business. And then I see people that is in that mid-level trying to get to the next step. And coaching is a great option for you in that, because you've got the basics down. You're doing really good. You've been doing it for 5-7 years. And if you want to get to that next level, that is where coaching can take you to that next level. Doing this for 30 years, sometimes we get complacent in that. I'm speaking about me personally. The business just naturally comes in because you've built this database for over so many years. I think what happens when we get into that, 25, 30, 35 years, we take away what started us, which was the basics. For me, sometimes you get flashy and you want to do marketing over here and you want to do this. Your database is the most important thing that you could do. If you could just pick an alphabet a week, start with your A's and reach out to those clients and say, hey, I just wanted to check in. How's your family? Do you have any change in family size? Your database is your number one thing to invest in. So I know a lot of times when we get older, we're trying to keep up with technology and everything else. And not that you shouldn't, but your past client database is huge. A couple of things that I want to talk about from a lending partner. It is huge to have a lending partner. How many times have I done this and went into a real estate office and they're like, lenders never give us any business. They always just put out their hand and they want something in return. That is where you have to find a strategic partner that's going to help you. Let me just give you some ideas that I've trained agents in the past. New construction, maybe that's not part of your pillar of business. However, new construction right now, because of the incentives that they're offering, is a great way to get buyers in from an affordability standpoint. The other good thing about it is once you get into those relationships with those on-site agents, a lot of the on-site agents cannot resell or get listings. So I've helped agents basically do a farm route. When you get out of your house, how many subdivisions do you go by, and just stop by and talk to them? Try to get some listings. Know that if you have a buyer, that you're going to engage and bring that buyer to that community and show them. That's one small example. Financial planners, guys, is huge. You've got people doing really great in the stock market right now. That financial planner does not want them cashing in stock for down payment. They want them to mortgage right now. So that's another good sphere that you could look at into. So there's multiple things. I ask you to say what makes you memorable in 2026, and everyone's memorable is different. What is that opportunity that you see? Are you a golfer? Spend every single day out there on the golf course networking. I have a client right now that he is really big in marketing. He's a realtor. He goes to the nicest restaurants every single day for lunch and every single day for dinner, sits at the bar, does not drink alcohol, but picks up high-end luxury clients. He just doesn't, he's single, he doesn't eat alone. He makes it an opportunity. So the world is your network. It's just depending on how you're going to engage in it and what is going to make you memorable, and finding those niches out there to add to your current book of business. And that's where you can step in and separate yourself and your business going into 2026.
Awesome.
Thank you so much for sharing that. I do think a lot of people lose sight that our business is 100% relationships. And if you're not out there making the relationships or building the relationships somehow, then you're not going to have more business. I mean, you could post all you want on social media. You can write all the emails you want. You can buy leads all you want. But if you're not calling and showing up in person and trying to keep the relationship going. And I think for two things that will help people on this call, because there's so much variation on the amount of years in business. We saw someone that had 30 years and we saw someone that hasn't even started yet. Two ways that you can talk to people. If you're new, introduce yourself as the local real estate expert. You just got started. Introduce yourself, ask them what their business is, and let them know that you want to build a relationship with that person because you're now going to be in real estate. Like literally send out your top 50 note cards and go out to all the restaurants, like Tanya said, go out places and introduce yourself and be that cheesy person giving out the business card. And maybe they will throw it in the trash, but they're going to remember that you introduced yourself. And then two, if you're a veteran agent and you've gotten so busy and you're just like waiting for business to come to you and now it's slowed down considerably, and you feel, a lot of you guys feel stressed out and embarrassed to reach out to people you haven't talked to in so long. You're like, what do I say to people? Because I haven't kept up the relationship, and you're a little embarrassed. You've just relied on emails and mailers and social media to keep up with people. Well, you would say, hey, I'm so sorry I haven't connected with you in a while. You would call them and talk to them and say, I want to apologize. I haven't connected with you. I haven't asked you how you're doing in so long, and I want to reconnect. You're important to me. And ask them what's going on with their life. And remember, the Ford conversation: family, occupation, recreation, dream. So those are just reasons and ways that you can make your calls and build your relationships. And like Tanya said, and also Leslie can help you guys with this, they're big in new construction. Go meet all of the new construction home model reps and give them your card and hey, a lot of them don't do general brokerage, and they might need a buyer that walks in, might need someone to sell their home, and they are going to give it to the person they like, right? So if you're making relationships with all the builder reps while you're learning the properties and the incentives, you're going to look like the local market expert for those new construction communities. And those reps are going to hopefully give you some business. It could be a two-way street here. And so Kimberly asked a question. She said, 2 years, is there a same page for the journal?
Not 7 years, is there a same page? What do you mean, Kimberly? Is there a same page for the journal? I think I didn't click on the link, but Sandy sent
it's a Google Drive link, and it's open to everyone, and you can open it, and it's a PDF, and it's 1, 2, 3 pages. I just clicked on it. It has like instructions, says SMART goals for realtors.
Is that the one you're talking about? Really? I don't know if you can see that.
There's a sample page, like examples. We could probably fill one out and I could email it to everybody.
Oh, like examples of goals, or examples of the journal that was on Amazon. I can send that. I have it. I just have it upstairs. I'd have to run again.
The Mel Robbins journal that we posted the link. Yeah. Maybe okay. Amazon might have some pages.
I can send. Kimberly, if you want to shoot me a text message, I if you have my number, it's 843-789-9636. I can send you a snapshot of the journal so that you can see it. I have it. I just have to run into my office and go get it. But yeah, it's really cool. I love that journal. I have a few of them. But yeah, great questions. 7 years in the business. Awesome. Anybody have any other questions or anything? Again, take down my information. Feel free to shoot me a text or email if I can help with anything. And thank you, Sandy, for putting this on and inviting everybody. And I'm excited for you. I hope you get a ton of value. And, again, for the if you printed this out and you wrote everything on the one, and I'm sure we've all got other goals. I've got 10 other goals that I want that aren't necessarily anything to do with business. So print them out, write them down. Each of those goals, do the exact same steps with each goal.
I could also give them some ideas. So if I was filling out the PDF and it was me and I was average years in business, let's say 10 years or whatever, I would say, what exactly do I want to achieve? I want 10 more closings this year in Myrtle Beach or something like that. And then my measurable, how would I measure my success? I would say I want 10 closed transactions. I want to see the money in my bank account by the end of the year, right? By December 31, over and above what I'm doing now. And then I'm going to say, I'm going to sell, let's say I currently sold 20 and now I want to sell 30. I would say I am going to close 30 transactions this year while protecting my personal time, right? And then for the achievable and realistic, why is this achievable for you? What strengths, resources do you already have? Well, I am disciplined, right? And I know that I'm disciplined. That's my strength. My resources is that I use a CRM. I have Follow-Up Boss. I have a lot of support. I have an admin staff. So if I'm going to do these 10 more deals, what am I going to do it? I'm going to do it by the timed goal would be the end of the year. The evidence is, how when the closings are recorded, when the commission is deposited, and how am I going to measure it? I'm going to set a timer or a Google Calendar item every quarter to look at where I am with my goals. And so that's my future check. My vision board might be, well, with that 10 more closings, I'm going to pay off my car. Or I could say I'm going to take my family on a holiday cruise by the end of the year. Or I want to take time off in 2027 and I need X amount of dollars to do that. And so what would be different about my daily life? In order for me to have 10 more transactions, I would have to put myself out there more, right? I would have to put myself back in production. If I wasn't in production, if I was only doing 20 and I was just sort of laying around, then I would probably have to make new relationships. And I would go to, like we talked about, model homes, or go out to a restaurant and go to the coffee place down the road, Knowledge Perk or Beach Hippie Coffee. And I would freaking sit in there and just start introducing myself to everybody and just go crazy with caffeine. I already have started going to a restaurant here in my local area, trying to show up a lot. I really like it. So does that support my health? Yeah. Does that support, my family? Is the goal aligned with what you want, right? My family wants me to make more money. They just don't want me to work more. So maybe I can take my husband with me to the restaurant and the coffee shop, because I can build my relationship with him. He can see how hard I work. He can meet some of the possible clients. So you got to also, I would say, do things that fit your schedule. Don't take off. So some of my people take off a lot more than they can chew, and they add themselves to all these committees and really throw themselves into too many things. They join the Home Builders Association and then the chamber and then Rotary Club. And then all of a sudden they're doing so much volunteerism that they don't have time to work. So please don't do that. And then your daily efforts and actions. This is huge, but you know what? I'm going to tell you, and I think Leslie and Tanya are going to say the same thing. Is schedule it in your calendar to make the calls. That's really make the calls, send the emails, post the social media. Like literally every day, block an hour. Don't get crazy. You don't have to block off 4 hours a day. I mean, if you're going to call expireds, put it on your calendar. If it's not on your calendar, it doesn't happen.
Yeah.
We all know this.
Yeah, it's called Power Hour. And what makes it fun is if you get 4 or 5 other agents with you, and then you're sitting there and you're like, I just got a listing appointment, boom. And so it's a competition and it makes it more fun and less stressful. So I encourage you to do power hours together. You know, you're calling your own spear, they're calling their own spear, but it does make it a lot more fun, especially if you've got that competitive nature. Cause I'm like, oh, they got one, I got to get another appointment. So another thing I wanted to add to that that's very cheesy. However, it does work for this real estate agent. She wears her name tag everywhere she goes because everyone wants to talk about real estate right now. And so if you're that kind of person to where you just don't want to naturally start having conversations, putting that name tag on, saying you're in real estate, you probably will have someone stop you and say, what do you think about the market right now? How are rates doing? How's affordability? So I know that's old fashioned, but it's some of these old things that we used to do back to the basics is actually working and creating conversations and relationships.
Elizabeth Baker, my friend in Charleston, does $500,000 to $750,000 a year because of her 2 wrap trucks, her 2 wrap vehicles, her Remax crap all over her laptop computer. She sits in a coffee shop every day doing her iMovies, and she posts on social media, so she's very visible. She wears red, white, and blue every single day. People ask her. People call her because of the visibility. So yes, wear your name tag everywhere. I love that. I love that. So someone said, will we be able to replay this video? Yes, I will. I can also send it out. It's also on my YouTube channel, Savvy Agent Academy. You can find me. Just type my name in on YouTube. Janae has a really specific question. Maybe one of you guys could answer this.
Yeah, I can jump in. So I would say, Janae, you're going to basically click with somebody that your mentor, your broker might not click with. So absolutely, there's not a problem with, finding somebody that you do click with, because look, not everybody's going to like me or like my, my persona, who I am. So, but maybe they might like Tanya, or maybe they might like James on our team, or Marshall, or Gleason. So, you're going to find whoever you click with. That would be my 2 cents.
I have something to share on here with all of like the Zillow, lawsuits and everything, and people getting accused of pushing someone to a specific mortgage broker or lender or whatever. I understand that team leaders have association with some mortgage brokers because of there's a marketing money, dollars, and title companies, and that's okay. But your client is the one that's the important one, and you have to give your client the best option. And I would always give your client more than one option, just so that you don't get accused like Zillow Home Loans is getting accused, or Zillow, for forcing and pushing this one mortgage person. So, I mean, I don't know how your team leader or your mentor feels about you offering up other mortgage people besides the one that they're probably getting marketing dollars, but it's really the right thing to do, to offer your clients more than one option to shop. I'm just saying. So like, don't feel like you're doing something dirty by offering up some contact info of different people. People on my team, I let them, I have mortgage people that I prefer, and I ask them to push those people, but I also let my agents on my team also have their own mortgage people they like too. So if they get with a client that would fit more personally with Leslie or something, and that's their personal person, I don't care. I don't mind. I'm not going to force, as a team leader and a broker, I can't force you to use a certain company or a person. It wouldn't be right. Wouldn't be ethical. Would you guys agree with that?
I would say I always tell people, like when I'm talking to an agent and they might ask me this question, what I say to them, what I would love, obviously, is for you to send me any referrals. I'm happy to take them. But you know your client. Do you think that they would fit with my personality? If you feel that they do, send them to me, but give them my information, just mine. Don't give them three. I know everybody says give them three. I've had an agent flip out on me for giving a client two different realtors, and she chose the client chose the other realtor, and this other realtor just was so mad at me, and she's like, had I known I was competing, I would have talked to them differently. And I'm like, I'm so sorry, I will never do that again. If you're referring somebody, I like refer them to me and tell them, if you don't click with Leslie, I have a couple of other people that I can send you to, but talk to her. If she doesn't have what you're looking for or you don't connect, let me know and I'll send you to somebody else. I've got other people.
I
But
like that.
because I know, a lot of people say give three. I mean, that's not a law anywhere, but I think it's, because I would want to do the same thing to you. If I want to send somebody to Sandy, I'm going to send them to Sandy, and I'm going to say, if you don't click with her, let me know. And I've got plenty of other realtors I can send you to.
I've received referrals in this manner where I didn't know that I wasn't the only agent being interviewed. And I spent a lot of time and energy and conversation talking to someone and setting them up and everything on listing alerts, only to find out they're also talking to another realtor that referral agent gave them, like more than one name. So it's pretty tough. I think as long as they're open with you, like, hey, I'm also talking to other lenders, because like, you're being shopped. So it's like, how much time and energy are you going to spend with that person up front?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. Like, would you change your strategy? I mean, that's just some conversation for another time, but
I always tell people too, like, look, I'm not going to be the Walmart bottom dollar rate. And you know what? I'm okay with that. I don't want to be, because what you get with us at Cross Country is our team that is very specialized. So yeah, if you're wanting the bottom dollar, you're all about just the rate, just the numbers. And a lot of times people don't even understand the numbers. I'd rather help educate you and understand what these numbers mean and give you options. Like when I, send people, going to lock, like we're going to lock their rate, I'm usually giving them at least two or three options. This is what it's going to cost you, cash to close. This is where your monthly payment is. This is how much if you want to buy the rate down. This is how much it's going to cost if you don't want to buy it down. Let's be strategic about, getting you in the house, and, we'll refinance next year, and you come back to us, we waive our lender fees. Let's be strategic. We're long-term in this with you. We're not here for the transaction. We're here for the relationship indefinitely.
Yeah, I think it's very important to relationships of who you connect with personally with a lending partner. Just a couple examples to kind of share with you what that difference is. Okay. Most lenders come out there and say, okay, I'm going to buy your Zillow leads for you. I'm going to contribute to marketing, right? That's great. However, is that being real strategic? Is that really separating yourself? Is that really building long-term relationships? So one example that I started with an agent, I did a lot of new construction. So my choice of where I felt memorable and where I felt comfortable was with the home builders. So I've been past president of Sales and Marketing Council, president of the Metro Nashville Davidson County Division of Middle Tennessee. So that is where I felt comfortable. So I didn't put, chamber and all those other things on my plate. I took that one organization and went really deep and built relationships there. With that being said, a lot of my new construction clients did not come with buyer representatives, right? So we started this in November, and I went through my database and I pulled 100 new construction clients that were not tied to another referring agent. It was just they went on site and bought directly from the builder. This on-site agent cannot resell because they work for the builder. And so we sit together every Wednesday for 2 hours with the lady on my team and help that realtor call not only her database, but I'm calling my database too. That's a partnership. She's gotten 2 buyer rep agreements signed just for my database. She doesn't have a closing yet, but there's activity, there's momentum. That is a partnership with a lender. Thinking outside of the normal things. It's cliche. We have to close on time. We have to be competitive. We have to communicate. We have to answer our phone. Those are things. What is your lending doing to go even deeper and try to value and add value into your own book of business?
Thank you guys so much. Well, we are just at the end time for the hour. I appreciate both you, Tanya and Leslie, for being on this webinar and helping agents do smart goal setting for 2026. I think the big focus here, the big aha moment for me at least, is just putting it on your calendar and doing the actionable goal. Doing it. Just do it. Don't think about it. Do it anyway, no matter how you feel. I mean, I have the flu today, you guys. I'm still going to do it. I'm still on this call. I made a commitment to you guys, and here we are. So just remember, I want you all to achieve your goals in 2026. I want everyone to love this. And we have a recording on here for you. So thank you so much, everyone, for attending. And I look forward to doing another webinar with you guys.
Sounds good. Have a good day.
Bye.
Bye.